What is going on, fellas? And welcome back to Rebel Rescue with me, FoggyPlays on FM22. Today we're going to be taking on Roma in the Europa League, and we're going to have a look at the youth intake because it says it's only going to be good. I am hoping it's going to be better than good, though. So we have to wait and see what happens with that. Not a huge amount has happened since we were here last. As I said, we have drawn our group in the Europa League. We're taking on Roma, Slovan Bratislava, and Olympiacos. There is a chance we can get through in this group. Slovan Bratislava, team I wanted to play in the Champions League qualifiers, didn't work out for us, but we're going to be taking on Roma in the first round of games. So if you do want to enjoy this episode, do of course make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now let's get into the video. Right, fellas, so as I said in the intro, we're taking on Roma today, and we're going to look at the end of, why do I keep saying end of? We're going to be looking at the youth intake. Hopefully it's going to be a good one. I'm not 100% sure, but since you were here last in the absolutely disgusting result against Slavia Prague, where we had 4 goals disallowed. 4 goals disallowed. We ended up getting knocked out of the Champions League. We beat Dundalk 4-0, had a friendly against Cove Wanderers because there was like a 2-week gap for internationals. We had a lot of players away on international duty, so I said I might as well chuck some players in, just give them a friendly and see how they get on. Then against UCD, 5-0 comfortable victory, and then a 3-3 draw against bottom of the league Shelburne. We really did not play in the first half. I think about the 65th minute, we made a triple substitution. Ryan Coleman picked up an injury around that time, so I was like, I'm just going to take everyone off. Jacob Bryan went down for him. Colin Whelan and Osene went on to play as a 3-man strike force with Atienza, who actually decided to score some goals. Scored twice in 2 minutes. Then Colin Whelan scored in the 79th. I was delighted. We were very attacking, and then I popped it back into just, positive. And they scored with the last kick of the game, which is just standard, really, isn't it? The Europa League group, I'm not 100% confident, to be honest. Roma, obviously going to be the hardest team in the group. I think Olympiacos potentially have enough to beat us. Slovan Bratislava, I don't know. I think we might potentially have enough to beat them. But Slavia Prague's group in the Champions League is Chelsea, Monaco, Milan. So that would have made us a decent amount of money, but we certainly would not have made it out of that group any higher than 4th. I'd be happy in that group if we'd scored 4 goals. If we'd scored 4 goals over 6 games, I would have been probably pretty happy. That being said, we've got Borussia Dortmund. I didn't even look at the groups for this properly. Nothing too crazy. Like Borussia Dortmund, not ideal. Braga signed a player that we were trying to sign. I can't remember who it was now off the top of my head. Sevilla and Tottenham. Tottenham losing. Actually, interestingly, have Tottenham won anything since 1961 was the last time they won the Premier League? Carabao Cup in 2008, runners up in 2021. They were runners up in the Under-18 Premier Division Cup in 2025. And okay, they're just runners up in everything. Even their youth side can't win anything. That's kind of unfortunate for them. So essentially what you're saying is, if we are playing against Spurs, we're going to beat them because they're not going to win. Anyway, if we get into a final, that would be fantastic. So not too many changes for today's game. Colin Whelan has started to kind of fall off a little bit. He's just progressively getting worse. Unfortunately, Coleman is injured for this game. He's going to be out for 10 days, which means he misses. I think we've a cup final coming up. To be honest, at this stage, I'm just kind of focusing on Europe. Actually, the next game is against UCD. I'm not going to bother showing you because it's the League Cup final. Then we play St. Pat's in the Senior Challenge Cup. But I did notice we're playing Dundalk twice in 3 days. So I'll probably just get the same bus. Just get the train up to Dublin, and then get the Dublin to Louth train. the two teams will go up together. Why not? Might as well. Yeah. So not a huge amount of change for today's game. I don't think there's anything else really, apart from we've our training facilities are being upgraded, which is fantastic. It's starting in November, so we're not going to be seeing anything until the end of the season. I'm going to tell lads nobody expects us to do anything, so just go out and enjoy yourselves. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, it'll be November, and then in February it's finishing, but it's going to cost like 3.5 million. We did before that have about 15 million in the bank, which that's fantastic. We haven't had anywhere near that at all in this. Imagine if we'd made it to the Champions League. Why are you taking a long throw? Onofriti and Quigley work together to win the ball back. Vestergaard finds Vincent Day. One of the questions I had in the Colin Whelan, it's all a bit insane in the Roma box there. What was he saying? Something super important, and I can't remember. Yeah, Tammy Abraham still playing up front for Roma. So, Pellegrini still there. Patrick Kluivert. Was that Patrick Kluivert? What's Justin Kluivert? Patrick Kluivert's his dad. That's why I was like, Patrick Kluivert sounds right, but I know it's not. They're also playing Abraham as a deep line forward. I think he'd better suited to pressing forward, but it might be just because of age now. He's probably pushing mid to late 30s, but we have just seen Jean score, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, this guy popped up as the goalkeeper that we're going to be playing. He's in their under 19 squad. I don't know if Roma have like a serious goalkeeping injury problem. Kluivert nicely passes the ball to O'Brien, and Jean sees his name light up in the headlines after he scored his first screamer. Unfortunately, it was not to be. Duca's not having a great game. Duca also made his international debut for Roma in the international break we had before we played UCD. So that was quite happy. He was delighted with himself. I praised him. He was happy with that. And then I said congratulations to Carlsberg for scoring his first goal for the Faroe Islands against Estonia, and he was pissed. Oh, he was not a happy boy that I said, hey, congratulations on scoring a goal. And he was like, shut the fuck up. Yeah, he wasn't happy. But not as unhappy as Whelan seems to be. I'm not sure why Whelan is so distraught with life at the moment. I know because Alan Murphy was sold, but I think it would have been worse off had we kept Alan Murphy. I just realised I haven't put my glasses on. Had we kept Alan Murphy, I think he probably would have thrown more of a strop than Whelan, although Whelan not scoring goals at the moment, which is obviously, quite frustrating. A guy who 2 seasons ago scored 50 and scored 60 last year. He has scored 40 so far this year. Like, it's not as if he's not scoring goals, but like, he is nowhere near the levels he was at not too long ago, which is kind of frustrating because, like, I know how good he is. Anyone who's watching this series knows how good he is, and he's just decided he doesn't want to play football at the minute, which is really, really annoying. I'm kind of hoping that we can keep a hold of this lead. The fact that we've just left one of their players just kind of jog past us. O'Brien does get back to block it, but we're kind of under the cosh at the minute. Hopefully we can get someone to stop this. I think it's official that Luke Keane is never going to play a game of football again. At Man United, he is nowhere near getting games, and because I don't know what's going on in their team. I have no idea if he's ever going to play, but he hasn't even glanced at the first team since moving to them. And Olympiacos have taken a 2-goal advantage over Slovan Bratislava. We have 3 minutes left in our game. Vincent Day finds Messinho, who, had I been less fussy about making some more money from a loan, he could be playing in China, which I think he probably would have been happy with because he would have made quite a bit of money. But they were only going to pay like 20% of his wages while he was on loan there. Tammy Abraham almost has a shot. Well, does have a shot. Almost had a clean shot at goal. Thankfully, it was blocked. But now they're really pushing forward. And Jake O'Brien, cynical foul. I'll take it though. I think we do probably pop back now to slightly more defensive. Don't really want to be, conceding. Don't really have any options in terms of centre backs. Who can play at centre back? Who isn't dying? Okay, Sullivan. Just have you as a playmaker, box to box. Just be a centre back, please. Is Quigley a better centre back? Not really. Quigley just be a full back on defend. Full back on defend. And how about you? Be just a standard goalkeeper, please, please, please. We've done it. Had a player sent off. Still managed to beat Roma. That is unexpected because that wasn't even the home game. Like, Jean, we're excellent. Fantastic. So as I said, the next part of this episode will be us looking at the youth intake. I'll have probably ensconced it beforehand because it does generally show up as the first news article for me. But that'll be what happens next. So I'll show you how we did in the games in between whenever we get that. So we will be back in just a second. Right, fellas. So unfortunately, it did exactly as it always does. Opened the next news article, popped up telling me the youth intake. I haven't looked at anything yet, so I'm going into this just as blind as anyone else. I don't think there's anything in particular we're looking for. Would be nice if we just had like a solid 5-star potential player who can come in and do the business. As you can see as well, we've also fallen off the top of the league, but we do have 3 games in hand over Derry, and we're only 2 points behind them. So the league is still in our hands. Intake, let's have a look. Oh, we didn't even get a 5-star player. Oh, this guy. I was going to say, not a very Irish sounding name, to be honest. Gavin Malone, Simon Griffin. Simon Griffin just... I'm not so sure. Gavin Malone. Wants to be a playmaker, and he's only 15, so... Brian Wood, a Welsh right back who's... Yeah. Okay. Oh, we got a Brazilian centre back. What's his... Wink Neto. What a name. Wink Neto. Yeah, we don't have anything. I'll go through everyone and have a proper look. Like, according to this, Swane, he's not terrible, but he's not amazing. The goalkeeper, Cormac McNally, 16 years old, 3.5-star potential. The player that this is the guy that we're pinning this generation's hopes and dreams on. Gary Mccann stands out as one of the better players in the intake. He's actually not terrible. He's by no means good enough to play in our team. but he's not terrible. So that's quite unfortunate. There's a couple of players, like I probably not going to sign anyone. This might be the generation that we just pretend didn't exist. I might just sign like Cormac McNally, maybe give Zwane and Sergio contracts just because I suppose Sergio didn't travel, or Zwane didn't travel. Sergio came all the way from Brazil. We did have a couple of other. We did have one more intake player stolen away from us, which was quite frustrating. His name was John McCarthy. It was stolen by Everton. So, yeah, this intake, disappointing. Very, very disappointing. As I said, I'll go through and have a look and see is there anyone that I think has some sort of potential, but I seriously doubt it. That's really disappointing. We did beat UCD comfortably in the League Cup final in the home of Dundalk. Onofriti scored after, I think it was 11 seconds or 12 seconds, fastest goal ever. And then scored in the 57th. And then Jacob Ryan scored a brace in 11 minutes. And Dan Duca also scoring, which meant that 3 of the 5 goals we scored came from centre backs, which is exactly what you want. Just centre backs for days. So, we're going to leave that there. That's a really disappointing intake. I was hoping for something better. Like, to be fair, a lot of the players we've signed from our most recent youth intake haven't really been very good. Some of them have been signed by other clubs. Well, I've put on my ex-players shortlist just so I can keep an eye on them. So when they get signed, I get told about it. I can watch what their career does, see if we've made mistakes on any of them. We haven't so far, for obvious reasons. None of them are not, like, the ones we don't take on, they're not really good. But I've gotten it wrong before with youth intake players that I've let go. So once cost me quite a substantial amount of money when I was managing in Hertha. And get paid 65 million or something to get a guy back who came through my youth intake, and I rejected him because I didn't think he was good enough. So sometimes you get it wrong. But if you have enjoyed this episode, do of course make sure to leave a like, comment down below. Is this the worst youth intake you've ever seen? Because this is one of my worst youth intakes. It's not ideal. And of course, subscribe and leave a like, comment, as I said. Like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, and I will catch you in the next one.